Okay, I'm going to highlight something that was presented to me last week, and I think really cool. And I want to give credit where credit's due. The Okay, let me just figure out exactly what I want to say about it. So Zane's team, John in particular, put together a coherent wallet strategy. And I have to say, I'm really excited with what I saw. And I'm excited with what I saw for a couple of reasons. One is the potential of what we can be doing, and really thinking forward-looking here, and what's going on in the industry, what are best practices, what are other people doing that really should inform what we ought to do. And number two, having a coherent strategy means that we can stop wasting effort on doing things that don't really have a payoff, or we're not doing well because we're not focusing resources on them, and so forth. So I really liked the coherent wallet strategy, and this was part of the broader technology strategy conversations we've been having over the last month. This was one of those missing links. We had several potential projects that we could work on. Obviously, improvements to Sphere, new features on Sphere, thinking mobile, thinking web wallets, thinking Explorer support for products, thinking library support for products, and so forth. Doing this was really critical because as we're assigning resources for streamlining where we want to go for maximum impact, we don't want to be spreading resources where they're actually not being properly used. And we don't want to be doing duplicative work, and we don't want to be doing work on things that really aren't going to have an impact and really aren't going to matter in the grand scheme of things. So one important thing, John went out and did a survey of the rest of the industry of what are some key projects doing. We looked at Cardano's dataless wallet. We looked at MetaMask, obviously, is the dominant wallet in the industry because it's the web wallet is also an authenticator for all the application ecosystem on Ethereum. And we looked at these things, and we looked at, well, number one, from a product perspective, what do they do? How does what we offer to the market compare to what they do? And even what kinds of teams are working on these things? So looking at MetaMask as an example. MetaMask, I was shocked, very pleasantly surprised, and also very jealously surprised by the success of MetaMask in that this product earns $45 million a year in revenue. So this is huge, and they do it from taking a percentage of swaps that happen using the app. Now, okay, you might be thinking $45 million in revenue, that's a lot. That in itself is a massive technology company, evaluation-wise, and their team employs 25 people roughly, specifically for the wallet product. Now, compare this to where we are, and not to focus on MetaMask too much, but MetaMask is an industry standard, and the industry has moved in the Web3 direction of browser-based web wallet being important because you can use this as an authenticator. But 25 people working on a product compared to us with Sphere, we've had, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a full-time equivalent working on Sphere for the last couple of years, right? So think of 0.25 of an FTE versus 25 FTEs working on a product, and you can see the differences here. And this matters over time. Looking at other products that are out there, wallet products, you look at teams that have at least a dozen other people working on them. And again, comparing that to Sphere, where we've only been able to allocate over the years trivial amounts of manpower into working on them. So this puts some things into perspectives, and we need to think, do we want to compete in a space where we're not devoting sufficient resources to actually compete? Because that seems like a losing proposition to me. So what we're thinking is, let's revisit our strategy. We know we need graphical user interface or some sort of GUI wallet for our users. We know that sidechains are coming imminently with Zendu. We know that the nature of this project is going to be shifting quite significantly, and we have a whole suite of products that are out there. Zane talked about a compatibility, like a Zendu compatibility look across our own ecosystem, which was absolutely crucial to actually doing a taxonomy of what we have currently, what will be supported with Zendu, what will not be supported with, and then have this moment of, good Lord, if we want to support this product, and from day one when Zendu goes live and that hard fork, this set of things won't be compatible. This is meaningful, right? So we need to think through all of these things and make sure that we're doing things in a coherent strategy. Anyway, so that said, we are now looking holistically across the ecosystem. We know we need a wallet product. And then we think from a product perspective, and John did a fantastic job of this, of thinking, why do we need a wallet? Is it just a graphical user interface? Are we doing things like authenticating applications across the sidechain ecosystem, like MetaMask? Right? And then what are the things under the hood that matter? What are the APIs, the libraries, the functionality across specific applications that matter? Anyway, all this to say, we don't have all of the answers right now, but I think we have a coherent look of, as we go forward, what should matter more, I would say, is web wallet and mobile are two things that should matter more. And we've been under-resourcing these things, and say on mobile, not resourcing at all. Block Explorer as a product is really important. And these things are all part of a broader kind of taxonomy of products that we offer to the market, where right now we have a lot of things, a lot of repositories on our GitHub. We have a lot of other products out there that we haven't been supporting, but they're still on our GitHub. We have a whole bunch of things that aren't going to be compatible with Zendoo from day one. So all this to say, we're doing that look now. We're going to be focusing resources strategically so that we're not wasting effort. And at the end of the day, what we actually deliver is meaningful and has a big impact. And we know that we have to do this in the context of a broader industry, that we are not in our own little Horizen world where we do everything from scratch and we don't have to care what's going on in the market. That's not the case at all. Because I'll repeat the goal that I said last week is, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that when developers, CTOs, CEOs, anyone who's thinking about doing something on a blockchain, whether it's building their app, their next venture, or a company thinking about their next blockchain-based product, we want to make sure that building with us is the obvious choice. Right? And there's a whole bunch of things that we need to do here beyond just the core development of, say, Zendoo and then Lattice, that whole bunch of things that we need to do for compatibility, usability, making sure that these are products that people actually want to use and we're not just building independently on our own. So anyway, we're working on all of this right now. I'm really happy with the work that the team's put together thus far. It's not a finalized strategy, but now there were two elements I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that were missing from the tech strategy before I think we're ready to finalize it. Those two elements have been done. So one was the SDK core, and we had that conversation with Alexander, Alberto, and the core engineering team and product, thinking coherently about the SDK core. So that piece is there. I think we have a no-brainer of what we need to do for SDK core for the rest of the year and then going into the next year. The other piece was the wallet strategy, because we didn't want to start just working blindly down a path because we have been, just let inertia take hold. This was the last piece, and I'm happy with where we are, although we still need to mature it a little bit more to really finalize what a wallet strategy would look like, and then obviously communicate that to all you guys and all of that public. And then I think we have all the missing pieces, and we can finalize the technology roadmap going through the rest of this year, and maybe more importantly, what are we going to be doing next year in 2022?